With that, welcome back to a brand new season of Three and a Half Gentlemen, the podcast, where three of the four hosts provide a refined and intellectual analysis of movies from our private collections, while one of us tries desperately to give up. Sorry, to keep up. We'll let you decide which host is which, but for now, my name is Sean, and with me, as always, are my fellow Iridians, Jeremiah.
Just stop your crying. It's a sign of the times. What up, yo?
Oh. Eddie?
Fist my bump.
Yeah, doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound good.
Fist my bump.
And Brandon.
It is time go. It is time go.
It's not going to get old.
No,
it's not going to get
neither
old.
Is this one.
It's not going to get old.
No,
it's not going to get old. Yeah, neither is it's just
This is going to last for the whole year, by the way.
100%.
But as with every review we give, our goal is to answer one simple question. How many drinks does it take to get through the film that we just watched? Now, at the end of the podcast, we'll rate the film based on the scale of 0 to 5, with 0 being a perfect film that you can watch it stone cold sober, or 5 being sort of the film that makes you feel like you just woke up from a hypersleep to find yourself alone in a spaceship hurling towards a sun light years away from your own. I'm not going to say the rest.
Well, I'm going to, and you also have some amnesia. And I knew that was a risky word to throw in there, Jeremiah, but I said, let's go authentic.
I'm just not into word salad, dude. I'm just cut it. I'm done.
Tonight, Eddie, in case you were wondering, we're taking on one of 2026's biggest blockbusters with Project Hail Mary. Now, this movie is the second Andy Weir book to be adapted to the big screen behind 2015's The Martian, and this one sees Ryan Gosling's Ryland Grace stranded in a spaceship with a lovable alien as they try to save their respective planets. Now, this movie can only be found at your local Cineplex, which really is the only way to see a spectacle like this.
Me and Eddie went to see this together in the theaters, and Jeremiah, wish you could have been there. I know we were close, but just didn't line up with the timing. But I was walking out, and all I could think about was, am I biased because I love the cinema experience? Like, I remember going with my grandpa. Like, me and Ed went to the movies. We got popcorn. We had red vines. It was like it was an experience. Ices. And yes, it cost $70 freaking, but still, it was worth every penny.
Did you guys see it in IMAX? I got to ask. Did anybody see it in IMAX?
I don't think so.
I knew Jerry did.
It was the bigger theater. It was the bigger theater at the Regal. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a small one. We agreed, like, you know what, we're running late on the 7 o'clock, so let's go to the 7:30. And then we looked at the seating for 7:30. We're like, we're not going to sit together. So we looked at the 7 o'clock. We're like, we're only 12 minutes behind.
Yeah,
it's 7:12. So like, but there was spots. There's a lot of spots. So we're like, fuck it, let's do it. So and they were like, bro, we went in there and it was like 40 minutes of trailers.
Oh, yeah.
So that's so much time.
Badass trailers, by the way.
We should have got a drink.
Yeah, we went into Dune, and it was like,
and we're just like, amazing, perfect time to walk into the theater.
Yeah. To what Brandon was saying, yes, I did see it in IMAX with Hannah, and dude, I mean, I'm just glad that we all got to see this in the theater. I mean, this movie, it's meant to see in the theater. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, like, oh, I'll stream it. No, this is made for you to experience it in the theaters. So whatever you saw in what type of format, that's fucking awesome.
Jeremiah, I have never seen a movie in IMAX. And I know that at some point I need to fix that. Never.
Star Wars?
No. We never went there.
When you come out, we'll do. When you come
I'm okay.
out,
we'll
definitely do that.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah,
let's do it.
Ed, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tonight we're celebrating our new favorite alien with Rocky's Refresher, a tasty blend of vodka, simple syrup, and Pop Rocks. And full description for this cocktail can be found on our social media pages, including Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok.
A low blow.
Where you can find out about past and upcoming episodes, movie posters, and trailers, clips, and more.
A lot of things to discuss about this movie because there was a lot of elements to the movie that were just need to be touched on.
Yeah.
I would like to focus on performance because Ryan Gosling for a long time has felt to me very stoic. He doesn't really emote a lot. He's, I think of Drive. I think of these complex characters he played. I'm not saying he's bad, but he just doesn't have a lot of personality. And this movie, to me, he just like exploded off the screen. And I always have problems with him. And this one he got me from the word go, and I was just hooked. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
So, question: Did you rate him below Jake Gyllenhaal or above? Like I feel like they've always been like this battle between both of them with movies, but I always rated Jake a little higher, right? I don't know why, just his. But
Yeah.
this movie makes me like, oh my god, like Ryan,
So
you've definitely nailed it.
I kind of always put him in the class, like with all the Chris's, with all the with like the Hemsworth, the Chris Evans, Chris Pine, and also like with kind of Cillian Murphy actually is in that class too. Like that's age.
He's above everyone. That's not fair.
But he's a phenomenal actor. And Leo's a little older, but the kind of the 40s, they're all hitting their 40s, in the middle of their 40s.
I don't know what it is, but when you have actors that are acting besides inanimate objects, whether it be CGI like in Jurassic Park, or you've got something like this where it was practical, it was Rocky was actually there. I think of a lot of these movies where it's really a single character, and maybe the one that jumps out to me most would be Moon with Sam Rockwell, another alien space, or not alien but another space movie. And I feel like it's in a weird, like backwards way, when an actor is forced to be on screen by him or herself and to carry an entire movie. I feel like they all tend to step up. And I thought that this was just another example of that. Now, if you're talking about him having a personality, I definitely see the stoic. I've always been a real big Ryan Gosling fan. But man, this one came out of nowhere. I didn't like the movie Drive,
Jeremiah,
but I really enjoyed the. It was this one. It was this. No, I didn't like the movie Drive, but I liked him in it. Right. No, so all that to say is, I'll wrap it up real quick. Is that Ryan Gosling, I think, does have a lot of talent, and he took it to another level. And I'm just gonna say, actually, I'll save my Sean call out. Yeah,
his last couple of films, I think of The Fall Guy with Emily Blunt.
That was fun.
This one,
that was fun.
And Barbie.
It's almost like and Barbie. He's gotten to a point in his career where he's not trying so hard, and he's just exploding. He's so much better, and sometimes it takes age. And I'm not saying he was bad before. It's just that I feel like he's in his stride. He's hit something here.
He's accepted who he is. Yeah.
To Eddie's question, I mean, I've always been Team Ryan. I'm sorry, dude. I mean, his early independent films, dude.
I was Team Jake.
They're like Murder by Numbers, Half Nelson. That's a great film. He even played the romantic type in
Lars and the Real Girl.
Lars and the Real Girl, The Notebook. And then, the thing about him is that he can do really serious stuff, but also funny stuff like Crazy Stupid Love or Big Short. Or he could do something crazy as a romantic called Blue Valentine, which is one of the saddest films you ever see. Or he could play in these big blockbuster films, dude. He is a movie star. And now you're seeing him becoming that movie star, dude. This movie rests on the shoulder of Ryan Gosling. If the actor doesn't work, this movie doesn't work. Ryan Gosling is a fucking superstar, a movie star, and now he's in the talks of that now.
What I love about Ryan Gosling, and this is, Sean, maybe kind of going back to what you're saying too about some of these other actors who I call them the pretty boys, and I don't say that in a negative way. They're beautiful human beings. They're like gods or demigods. They really are. What I love about Ryan Gosling, what I've always loved about Ryan Gosling, is that he may have that stoic personality in certain films. First Man was a perfect example of how I think his performance and his wooden performance ruined a movie. I thought it just took away from the joy of the movie. But what I always loved about Ryan Gosling, and we see this kind of on display here, is his ability and almost his desire to have that self-referential, make fun of himself humor. And I think this might be best seen in Saturday Night Live, who I think he will still go down as one of the greatest hosts of SNL.
Yeah.
At least in the modern era. I really think that but the way that he is fine making fun of himself for a sexiest man kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's absolutely self-deprecating. Yeah.
One of the things that makes this movie succeed is the relationship between Ryan Gosling and Rocky.
Yes.
And I know Rocky is
it seems organic.
Rocky is just as good a performance, if not. It's so organic, and it's so back and forth, and it's so beautiful the way that they interact. It's almost like I don't know how to say, it's almost like that Rocky is a real person on set, talking to him constantly, like right there, bouncing off. I remember when Lord of the Rings came out and they did Gollum, right? And Gollum was like all of a sudden it was a real character. He was interactive. He all of a sudden for the first time he wasn't Jar Jar Binks, being a stupid on the screen. He actually felt like part of the set. This was times a million. Like it just felt even way better than Gollum. So
it's like this generation is finally getting its own ET when you think about it. The relationship, how powerful that situation is between an alien and a human being, and them coming together. We haven't had that even with all the Star Wars films that we've had in so many in the last 10 years.
I'll stand by Paul.
What's that?
I'll stand by Paul forever and ever and ever. Amen.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to smoke a fucking blunt and shit, that's cool. But I'm talking about I'm talking about we just haven't had something like this in a long time where it gives us a little taste of that ET moment. And maybe that's part of our childhood where we're just trying to find something like that feels, and we haven't had that in a long time. Yeah. Eddie, what do you think?
Ed, go, and then I got something.
Well, I was going off of before Rocky shows up, because I feel like Rocky shows up, 40 minutes in, 30 minutes in? Like he shows up later. Yeah. He doesn't show up right away, because I feel like for Ryan Gosling, you get I love how you get character development. You get a flashback. You get constant flashbacks. So it's like you're
I love it too.
Pieces. Yeah. You're getting pieces of like his old self and his new self. And on the ship, like he's like, okay, why am I here? Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, and then he's like, why am I smart? Like, how do I know this crap? And that the two people that are supposed to be on the ship with him are already dead. And then you get a flashback of like little bits and pieces of memories. You see an old version of him being almost timid a little bit, like, he rides a bike and he's a school teacher. And then you see this new side of him. It's like, okay, well, how is this connecting? And then it slowly starts putting pieces together. And they're giving you these pieces, and I just really enjoyed it.
I want to talk about something that Sean always says and has said for as long as I've known him, which shockingly is now basically 20 years, which is a lot. When you hear the same damn thing for 20 years, you're like, just shut up at some point. And if you've been listening to this podcast long enough, then you've heard this too, and you want to just be like, Sean, shut the fuck up. And his argument is always against the Academy Awards, right? And you know where I'm going with this. In Sean is constantly saying, God, I really, really wish that the Academy Awards would pick, the movies that people have seen. That's Sean's go-to. And I am going to go ahead and put the gauntlet. I'm going to put not even the gauntlet. Fuck that. Let's go Indiana Jones. I'm going to go ahead and put the cup of Christ right there on a shelf, and I'm going to say it.
Holy grail.
I am going to cast this cup of Christ.
Fuck.
And I'm going to say right now, Project Hail Mary is going to win Best Picture, and it is going to be one of the very first popcorn blockbusters to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. I don't know if it's going to sweep, Jer, like you were talking about off mic, but I'm telling you right now, this is the movie, Sean, where I can actually say, and go ahead and put it down in the date book, I agree with you 100%. This is not just, and I know I'm not giving my score yet, but this is not just a movie that is entertaining. And it is. This is a movie that is quality. This is a movie that is deep. This is a movie that is important. This is a movie that will stand the test of time, but at the same time, it is fun and it is exciting and it is great. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I know I'm on a rant, but I called my mom the other day and I said, because you got to call your mom, right? And I said, hey, I know, because they love going to movies, because that's how I got my love of movie, was they would take me to the movie theater almost every weekend. We would go see a movie. And I said, Mom, I don't care what you're doing, because I know they didn't see it opening weekend because they were busy. But I said, I don't know what you're doing this weekend, but you have got to go see it in theaters. And I said, this is a movie that we need as humanity, because it's fun and it's great and it's quality and it's emotional. But more than anything, it's about goodness. And God damn it, that is a movie that we need right now as a society, is that it is about goodness. It emotes not just happiness, but good.
The greatest part about the story is that showcase about two different beings working together, trusting one another, to overcome, the barriers and to save humanity and the universe. It's something that I wish and I hope for people to actually see this movie and view it in a different light. Yeah. This beauty can happen. Mm-hmm. I just hope people will see this fucking movie.
Agreed.
I do see a shift in story, and I really do. And I know that I bash the Academy all the time and totally missing the point of what cinema is. Yeah. It's not to be contrary. It's to bring people together. It's to be a uniting factor. I'm with Jeremiah. I think that this is the type of movie, and Brandon, this is the type of movie that brings people together. And we've seen it with K-pop Demon Hunters. We've seen it with some other films this year, particularly. There's a shift. And this is the result of good quality filmmaking with great stories about characters coming together. And I mean, the plot of this movie is very simple. It's a very simple, for a science movie, it's like, yeah, there's this astrophage, it's eating the sun, figure out why it's not, this one sun isn't getting eaten, go figure it out. Go figure it out, save the world. That's it. That's the whole plot.
Very sunshine-ish.
It is very sunshine. Minus the monsters, Jer.
Details. Let's not ask questions. Let's not ask questions. Let's just go do it.
It doesn't happen often, but this definitely sets the bar of like, this is the fucking greatest movie of this year. Go get it. Like, you got to beat this fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It sets up high because in my eyes, like I haven't seen many like Oscar movies I've won it. I'm like, oh, I want to rewatch that. Yeah. Right, like I watched it and I'm like, okay, cool, that was good. I can see why it won, but I'm like, I don't want to rewatch it. This one I want to watch a couple times. Like, I feel like I missed parts. I'm like, I want to watch this a couple times. I enjoy this movie the fuck out of it, and I'm like, if this movie doesn't win, it better be a fucking better movie that's way above this level of like emotional. I was laughing, crying, on the edge of my seat. With Sean and I were holding hands the whole time, crying, like just excited. Like we were like fucking.
I cried so many times in this fucking movie, dude.
It's there.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean,
Jeremiah
go for it.
said it the best though. He said it's got. I think it's got the emotional resonance of E.T., where you have a character in Rocky that is such a sympathetic, wonderful, sacrificial character. You have a great performance from Ryan Gosling. You have a great story. And so you've got this E.T. vibe. You've got a little bit of the comedy vibe of kind of Ryan Gosling that's come out over the last 3 or 4 films. But then you've got like the cinematography and the beauty of Alfonso Cuarón, or we
could talk about Great Fraser.
Phil Miller. What is it? Phil Miller and
Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the directors.
Yeah. I heard them talking about this movie, and I heard them kind of doing a little interview, and they were talking about how they wanted it to feel like clear. It was the clarity of the movie. It wasn't shadowy or dark everything was super
CGI.
bright and brilliant and beautiful. And I will say, Brandon, there is a moment in the movie that I turned to Ed and I said, I think this became a great movie. And it's when Ryan Gosling and Rocky are headed to the Green Planet to go drop their fishing rod and collect the bacteria. And Ryan Gosling is standing on the spaceship. He's standing on this spaceship, and you don't even question why he's standing on the spaceship. Like, is there a better way? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's standing on the spaceship, and all of a sudden they switch the view, and you see the ribbon of bacteria of the astrophage, and it's this brilliant pink and red, and it's like this flowing river.
He's in it.
And Rocky says, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm having a moment." And it's like this. We were all having a moment. We're all having the same moment together.
One thing, and this is kind of spiraling real quick off of Sean, is watching this movie made me wish that we could see the Miller Lord cut of Solo, right? Before they were fired. I would have loved to have seen what they could have done before they replaced him, or, so that's just me throwing it out there. And this is the last thing. I know a little bit behind, and I don't want to keep harping on the Academy Awards, but I love the Oscars. I want to just ask a quick question around the corner. Question: do you think that they, and I know we're not marketing people, but do you think that they screwed up in releasing this film now in March as opposed to the summer? I'm not saying it's not one of the ones that you hold off for until the end of the year to try to get kind of the artistic drama vibe of late in the year, but do you feel that they released this too early in the year? Jer, I want to get your opinion first, and then let's just go around.
2 reasons why I don't think it's a issue. One, you got too many heavy hitters the rest of the year. You got Christopher Nolan's new movie coming out. You got Doom 3 coming out. You have Avengers coming out, and you also have the new Spielberg coming out. So you have heavy hitters.
Spider-Man.
So you get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And you got Spider-Man.
You get ahead of it.
You got to get ahead of this shit before this, you know. And
and
I think they're also kind of looking at the blueprint of what Sinners did last year.
Yeah.
Where they just released this movie and just the popularity and it just blew up.
Streaming by the time
built off what Sinners
we
did.
get there. Yeah,
exactly.
I was just saying, I just have this vibe that it's got that summer blockbuster vibe, right? To me, that's how it feels, and it almost feels like.
Well, the March has always been kind of summer blockbuster-ish, kind of when you think about it.
Yeah. You wish it waited like 2 months.
I wish it waited 2 months. I genuinely do.
That's too.
I'm with
yeah,
Jeremiah.
I don't know.
I think so.
It's
Here's the
Memorial Day
reality. I'm with Jeremiah. All of the movies that he mentioned, except for Dune 3, which I think is the danger. Of all the movies this year, I think Dune 3 is the only dangerous movie to this movie. I don't think Odyssey is going to do what you think it's going to do. I think that's going to flop.
No, I agree.
I don't think it's going to flop. I don't think it's going to do as.
I don't think it's going to flop.
Like,
I think people are going to crash on it for whatever reason.
Remember
the
fact that they hated it in freshman year when they had to read that play.
Yeah, I just here's the reality. I know
Odyssey is 5 years too late.
I think Sword and Sandals is kind of anyway. Okay, so
yeah,
I think Dune 3 is really the only threat here. Timothée Chalamet and Dune 3 eclipse this movie and take away Ryan Gosling's greatest performance, which is a real shame. However, we could get this movie kind of creeping up and fighting against
Chalamet. 4 for 4 snubbed.
I don't know. I mean,
he's the Buffalo Bills of Oscars, man. He always gets to the Super Bowl, but he loses.
I also think Denis Villeneuve has a mission. I think Hans Zimmer has a mission. I think that these people in the Dune franchise have been like, we have put forth some of the greatest material known to mankind, and you have not recognized us. Now is the moment that we're going to take Return of the King type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, here's the funny part about this. Gray Fraser, the cinematographer for this film, actually did Dune 1 and Dune 2. He couldn't do Dune 3 because of this film here.
Really?
I'm just going to fucking say this. You should just already hand him the fucking Oscar for this film. There's nothing becoming close, dude. That's it. Yeah. He's got it fucking in the bag. So that's it right there.
Beautiful movie.
Does Rocky consider a best supporting actor?
Oh,
I think yeah.
That's a crime.
I guess so, yeah.
He has to.
Yeah.
He was, and the guy who did it, that wasn't going to be his voice. By the way, that's one of the funniest parts of the movie when they're trying to find his voice and they finally get to Meryl Streep and Meryl Streep's voice. And he goes, she could do anything. It's like, it's fucking perfect.
It's a very strategic move for whoever promoted this movie. Is like, you know what? I think even Ryan was just like, fuck it. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not doing it for the Academy Awards or for the Oscar. I'm doing it for the fans. I felt like this was for the fans. And that's why it hits differently.
This movie also had the magic. We've talked about that before, where things just kind of come together that you don't really expect. Things that are kind of off the wall. They didn't know how they were going to do Rocky. They didn't know how they were going to do the interaction between Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling wore an earwig in his ear because he was basically alone on the set, and the directors talked to him, and then he would play off the guy who played Rocky in real time, and they had this real relationship, and they would talk about how Rocky would respond. But not only that, I think one of the most poignant moments of the movie is when, I can't think of her name, sings Harry Styles' Sign of the Times.
Oh,
Strat. Sign of the Times on the ship. And that particular scene that they shot was one of the last scenes they had. And they were like, I guess we better get this in. And she came up and said, I want to sing this song. And they were like, can we sing a song that maybe we can get? Like, we're not going to be able to get this song.
Do we have to pay $10 million for this song?
And she delivers this performance, and it's imperfect, and it's emotional, and it's the heartbeat of the transition of the movie from, okay, we're playing to, okay, we're serious. And I think that it's one of those game-changing moments in cinema. It was beautiful. Brandon, I'm sorry.
So
give it an Oscar nomination, by the way.
Absolutely. Well, she's amazing in After the Fall. Yeah. She was in that movie, and that is honestly, it's one of my favorite movies that I've seen.
You've seen that movie?
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies to come out in probably the last 10 years. I think it's fantastic, and she is unbelievably fantastic. She's also in in Zone of Interest. I didn't like her so much in that one. Her role wasn't great, but those were 2 Oscar-nominated films 2 years ago.
Same fucking movie?
Yeah,
same actress. It was in the same
both,
fucking movies. 2 movies?
Yeah, but I
both nominated?
Both nominated, yeah. And she was nominated for, I think, for both roles. I can't remember. Anyway, I just got to say this because I know it might sound blasphemous, but I'm watching her do this scene, and in my mind, in my soul, I was saying that I have not seen... There's 2. I'm going to put it this way. There are 2 music scenes in movies in movies that I feel are perfect. You know, and when I talk about scenes in movies or scenes where actors or the characters are singing, that the world is just right, that it's perfect for the film, it's perfect for the moment in that film. And I'm sure that we can all think of what the other one is, but it's Tiny Dancer in Almost Famous. And it's this song in this movie. I equate them levelly. I think that they are so perfect in what it was. I was blown away by the emotion there. And I mean, Sean, I absolutely, this is the most perfect song that she could have sung, right? That it carried it with the lyrics. It carried it with everything. But I know I'm just kind of like out of words, but it was so perfect, and it reminded me of Tiny Dancer in Almost Famous, which to me is a perfect movie. If we ever do that one, it's a 0. And it's a 0 mainly for that scene, right? That bus sing along scene.
This movie really does prove that you don't have to have perfect music to have great music, because that song, not perfect, but it was delivered perfectly. And the thing about this movie that I think sound wise and music wise is the silence was used so just astronomically good. Like I can't tell you how many times I turned to Eddie and went, fuck, that silence is perfect. Like when they go out, he's spacewalking, trying to get the first little football. I'm just like, gee, like
he opens
nothing.
up the hatch, and he's just like,
and it's
oh
just
shit. It's so quiet. They make you feel like space. There's no
one
sound.
Can hear you
it's
scream, right?
Deadly quiet.
Yeah.
It's so quiet. It's like you could go crazy just because you don't know what the hell you're going into.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I cried throughout this fucking film. Tears of joy, tears of sadness, tears of awe, but the karaoke scene just brought me into tears. I don't know, it's just because of the time that the world that we're living in right now, but I couldn't remove myself from like what's going on right now to that moment watching it, and just fucking, it's heartbreaking. Tears was just rolling the fuck out of my eyes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and Hannah always makes fun of me, like, God, you're crying again. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking crying again. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Don't let anyone make fun of you. I cry all the time.
Yeah.
So I was crying. So you talk about the time at the side of the time scene, but when Ryan Gosling has to tell Rocky that he's gonna die,
God,
and he's not gonna go back, he's not gonna make it back home.
The first
and
time,
that whole scene, and Rocky's like, Rocky doesn't understand. Like explain.
Yeah, you lied.
You lied to me. Like,
Grace lied. You
lied.
lied.
You knew the whole. Yeah. Anyway, but there's a scene where Ryan Gosling is like, he finally comes to this, like, he knows he's already come to the conclusion, but he's coming to grips with his decision, and then Rocky gives him the lifeline of, I take 6 years less to get home, and the look on Ryan Gosling's face. And the line is perfect. This is one of the times where a line is so perfect, and it's the line that everybody knows is coming. And it's like when Frodo asks Sam, "What do we fight?" Or why are we still here? Because there's some good in this world, and it's worth fighting for. It's such a cliche line, but delivered so perfectly. And when Ryan Gosling looks at Rocky and says, "I didn't believe any of that." any of it. I was lying the whole time.
Yeah. I do want to just talk about something kind of, I want to actually go around and talk about preconceptions going into the movie. Okay. And I'm just going to start it off and kind of give you an idea of what I want to hear from you guys. So I had not read the book. I obviously read lots of books. I love books. And I had not read this. I hadn't read The Martian. I know that Andy Weir is a very well-received author. I know that Project Hail Mary has been considered by so many people that I know and don't know as one of the greatest books that's been written in the last, couple years, but I had never read it. I had never really known about it. And so when I saw the trailer for this, it was my first kind of introduction to, oh, this is what Project Hail Mary is about. And I remember seeing the trailer and just rolling my eyes because I'm like, God damn it, another one of those stupid movies where the non-astronaut person is the one that's going to go save the world, right? It's the Armageddon effect, right? Which is like, well, why teach and train, oil drillers to go be astronauts instead of the other way around, right? And I'm just like, I'm kind of tired of this cliche bullshit. And what I wanted to say, though, is that preconception, and I'm so happy for it, was blown out of the water because they gave an actually relevant reason why he needed to be the guy to go. And then, the spoiler is that he's forced to do it. But I do want to just kind of throw that out there. It's like, did you guys have that feeling of like, oh, God, another one of these movies? Or did you guys say, fuck it, we're just going to go with it? Because, I just hate that cliche. Yeah.
It gave you the little breadcrumbs of like, okay, somehow he gets on this, freaking, what is that, spaceship to go out there. I don't know how it happens, but he gets on there, and in flashbacks is like he wasn't part of the.
He's a high school teacher, which made
he was a high school teacher, and then he's brought in to help out, and then but it gives you breadcrumbs. So I thought about it as like, how the fuck is he on this when he's not supposed to be even here? Yeah. But then I just thought okay, obviously something major had to happen, and it gave an awesome explanation for that, and I love how they twisted. Also, they gave him the option, and he's like, I don't want to go. Yep. Sorry, I'm not going.
The world's gonna die.
I am not an astronaut. I am not an astronaut.
I'm not an astronaut. I love that because that's a real human. Find somebody else, guys. I'm not it.
Well, and then Carl's line is the best.
Carl's
You'll
awesome.
do good, buddy. You'll do good, buddy. But I'll go next because I think the question is perfect. I thought this movie was going to be terrible. First of all, I had no idea what it was about. Jeremiah had been pushing it hard, and I'm like, buddy, it's just I hated The Martian, even though I thought it was a good movie. That I thought it was a horror movie. So I'm pulling this, and it's these weird angles, and I'm like, so it's is he scared of this thing in space? Does it get into his ship? To answer your question, I was not looking forward to this.
Yeah,
this movie at all. Thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down, and then it turned thumbs down. Jared, what'd you think going in?
Rocky hate mark.
Yeah.
I was really kind of disappointed with the trailer because I'm like, wow, you just pretty much explained every fucking detail. I don't even have to see the fucking movie, right? I'm like, okay. I was kind of hesitant about it, but Hannah read the book and she pretty much just said, check this out. He doesn't know why he's there. Right. I'm like, oh, so he has amnesia or something?
Twist of a lifetime.
I'm like, fucking there. Let's fucking go and see this fucking movie. That right there was the biggest twist right there. Yeah. And she read the book. She said it's one of the best books she's read, dude. I'm like, wow.
I'm gonna read it. I have to. Yeah, I'm super excited.
But she explained there's a lot of details. She told me that when you find out that during that movie when he's a coward, you're like, holy shit. Just there's all these details in these books that we didn't get in this movie, but. Hannah was championing this fucking movie, and I'm just like, dude, okay, I'm fucking.
Thank you, Hannah. Collective, thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for fucking doing that because it was probably one of the greatest experiences being in the theater, just watching everything. Yeah. So let's talk about the ending.
Yeah,
let's talk about what did you expect when? See, at first, for a second here in the movie, I was like, what? The fucking thing got released. What else is gonna fucking happen in this movie? I thought he was gonna go home and shit like that, and I was completely God, okay, come on. What else can happen in this space trip here? And then when you get the reveal that he didn't want to show up, he was a coward and everything like that, and then you get the last kind of hurrah moment. What was your feeling going through that part? Because it was everywhere for me. I loved it.
We'll go Sean, and then go for it, Sean.
So I had huge mixed reactions because I was like, really? He's gonna be able to go home? That's how this movie's going to end. He just says bye to Rocky in that little tube, and he doesn't really know what to say. And it was very awkward, goodbye. And I'm like, this isn't giving me enough. I don't feel like we had enough, I'll be right here moment, ET touching, lighting up, that moment will forever live in my mind as one of the greatest goodbyes of all time. I'm like, give me something. I mean, anyway.
Casablanca wins.
Then you've got kind of the first Casablanca ending. There's so many great endings. There we go. Yep. There's so many. So when he decides he's going to go home, and then he has the malfunction, he figures out the malfunction, then he figures out Rocky's in trouble, and then decides to go to Rocky. I'm like, oh my God, what a fitting end. Let's just end it here with him in the tunnel, and you have Rocky coming, and then all of a sudden you have then another ending, and the final ending of the movie where he wakes up on the beach, essentially in his beach house on Rocky's home planet, teaching the little Rockettes. I'm like, this is the greatest feeling I felt in a movie.
Sean, what's even better? What's even better is that the little smile that he gives because his students are so excited to answer, which is so different than what he experienced on Earth, right? They were all joyous, but he had these little rock things that are just moving back and forth because they're so excited. They all want to answer.
And you learned their language.
Oh my God, it was so
learned all
good.
Their languages.
So I'm going to go next because
that's what's amazing. That's what's amazing.
A couple things.
Brandon, sorry.
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, I was really surprised when Rocky sacrificed himself to save Grace. Not surprised that he did it, but surprised that they went there with it, because it's a pretty brutal scene when you look and you see the basically his blood everywhere. I mean, it becomes like this super serious thing. And I got to be honest, for a very long moment, I thought that Rocky had fully sacrificed himself and that this is where the movie was going to go. And I was like, God dang, if they go there, I understand, but that really sucks. No, Jared, what I honestly thought the ending would be is that we get to see both of them return home with the fix, and not so much that they're both hailed as heroes, but they both have this moment. And what I thought was going to happen is that, it's going to cut to like 3 years later and the world's back at peace, and you got Grace looks up at the sky and just kind of smiles. Like, that to me was how it was going to end, because he knows that Rocky's out there and had done something special for his planet. And I'm like, if that's how we're going to go with it, that's absolutely fine. But then when we had the leak and we had that, I said, oh fuck. And I looked at my clock, my watch, and I'm like, oh, there's still a good strong 12 to 15 minutes or whatever. What the hell is going to happen? And then the way it ended, which could sound so cheesy and so corny and stupid, and instead it was this. And I think you said it. This is the only way the movie could have ended, right? And again, I want to highlight the fact that it's about goodness. It's about goodness and humanity, and humanity doesn't necessarily mean humans. It means in living creatures. That's what we got with this movie, and I could not applaud it more. So thank you for the 7 Return of the King endings. Lord and Miller, it was great.
It's what 100%. Hermione told Harry Potter. There's more than books and cleverness. There's friendship and bravery, and that's what this movie was about, is friendship and bravery. So
that's it right there. I'm sorry, before Eddie goes, it's the ultimate character development when you think about it, man. It's like he does the opposite, and he chooses the ultimate sacrifice. He finds his bravery, and we all are able to share with him, dude. So yeah, that's it right there, is the bravery part right there. He's not afraid anymore, He's the hero that we need.
You get the idea of like he didn't even question of, you know what, I'm going back. But then he also that's why I think he's supposed to be the right man at the right time. So they put up the right guy up there to do the job, because they weren't expecting him to come back at all. It was a diehard mission, and they knew he had no one left behind. So he weighed the options instantly of like, well, if I just send back this information of everything, I could save humanity and also save my best friend. I feel like in this instance, his love towards his friend, it just weighed out everything. He's like, I don't think about anything else. It's my love towards my friend.
Well, I think it's almost,
like it was about love and about friendship and bravery. But I don't think he was trying to be brave. I'm trying to save my friend. He didn't want to say bye. He didn't want to say bye to his friend. He wanted to stay up there. He was living the best days of his life with Rocky. In his eyes, he's home.
He's finally achieved something, and he's proud of himself, and he's found peace. But that's what's crazy about this movie. I mean, it's the most like
different.
greatest fucking visual movie, just this popcorn culture, this blockbuster film. But the center of the movie is the story between a human and an alien and their bond and their relationship.
And how we're all so fucking similar, right? That we're not different.
Oh. It's just crazy. It's fucking bananas.
I want to do one more little thing. I know we're running short on time, but let's do one more little thing. Go around and then we'll rate the movie.
Yeah.
Best or favorite scene? What's your favorite scene in the whole movie? Go, Brandon.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to do it. Sign of the times. That scene. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and expand on it even more. It's not just her quavering voice. No, I'm not, Jared. I'm not going to throw 7 different scenes. I'm going to expand on that scene. It's not just her quavering voice. It's not just the fact that her voice is not perfect, but again, it's perfect for what it is. It was the look on everybody's faces, especially on Grace's face. The way that he was proud of her, the way that he was looking at her as with admiration, the fact that he felt part of something that I feel like he never felt part of anything anymore, right after he was kind of banished from the scientific community. It's the reaction that song creates in the other actors and the other characters that's why that scene will forever stick out to me. And I mean, 80 years down the line, which I won't be alive for, so let's make it realistic. Let's go 25 years down the line when I'm old and I'm decrepit and I'm holding on. I'm holding on, right? I'm going to look back at different scenes in film. And this is why film is so important, because it lasts with us. It sticks with us. And a scene like this is one that sticks with us. And for me, it's that one just will forever stick with me.
I have 2 favorite scenes.
Jared's got 7.
Well, you have. I'm gonna make this bigger. It's not one scene. I'm gonna make it.
That's still one scene.
So I really, really enjoyed the moment where Ryan Gosling, is learning the language of Rocky. Like, I just enjoyed that whole and it wasn't just learning the language. It was like they were becoming friends. Mm-hmm. Like, they were understanding each other, and they both were teaching each other. And that's I think at that moment is when I was like, this is a fucking great movie. Like, I don't need to have more. This is where it's becoming great. Honorable mention is where Ryan is flying the spaceship. He's trying to get away from the spaceship, and it keeps coming up, and keeps coming up, and it keeps coming up, and it keeps coming up. And I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, that's how you feel. Realize whoever's driving this alien spacecraft is fucking with him, or just like, hey, I'm not leaving you. Like, I'm faster, I'm bigger. Like, come on.
Every time he got into this, the captain ship, they're like, oh, I'm not there. Not for me.
Yeah. So I say my favorite scene is the language barrier scenes. This is awesome for me.
It's the astral phase. It's the when we finally see the planet of Adrian. It is one of the greatest fucking moments that you will ever see on screen. I would put it there as one of the greatest moments of science fiction. What it must have felt like when you saw 2001 Space Odyssey for the first time. What that moment must have been for people watching that back in the day. What I was watching that moment right there. I will keep that with me for the rest of my life.
Okay, so mine is kind of cheap. It's not really cinematic, and it's not really the greatest impact of the movie. But when Rocky shows up in his ball to come stay with Ryan in Ryan's ship, and Grace's ship, and he comes in, he goes, it's dirty. Why is it dirty? What is it just dirty in here? And he's just going through the ship, and he's like bouncing around in this ball. I'm like, oh, and then it cuts to Ryan, and he's talking to the camera, and there's this scene where he realizes how good Rocky's hearing is, and he's talking to the camera, and he's like, and I just need to, I need some space. I need
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
He's like,
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. And it's like, the reason I think
Connect
this is important
to that
is because I think everybody has that moment in their lives. If they've lived with anybody, you have that moment where you're just like,
Jeremy and Sean.
No, I never actually felt Jeremy.
We never had problems.
He was the
you
easiest.
Good.
Yeah, easiest roommate ever.
Jeremy, you were Rocky.
Slept.
Jeremy.
That's it.
That's that. And then Sean was Ryan Gosling.
Passing ships in the abyss.
Actually, I will say one of the greatest moments ever is when I got the piano, and I think it was the first night I got the piano. And he comes home at I want to say like 2 a.m. probably, and I'm sleeping, and all I hear is like the piano getting played downstairs, and I think it was probably Interstellar or some shit like that, and I'm just like, oh, this is heaven. This is why I bought the piano. Anyway, that relationship moment, that's a good one. I think builds it really connects the two characters together, and when you have Rocky's supposed death where he saves, Ryan, and then the resurrection, I think it all adds up, and it's like a snowball where it's all kind of connected. Eddie's favorite scene with the language barrier is so great, and then it harkens forward to the Rocky hate Mark, and Rocky doesn't have a word for Adrian, and he every time he says her name, fist my bump. Fist my bump, and it's the wrong way, buddy. And there's so many great moments with the language. It's guys, go see this movie. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. I'm sorry, it is.
Is there anything you don't like?
Yeah, that I will tell you right now, there is something I don't like. I don't like the fact that end it? Phil Lord and Chris Miller are looked at as a joke in Hollywood.
Fucking Solo.
They didn't get a chance to direct Solo. And granted, if you go down their filmography, it's a little bit strange, right? 21-22 Jump Street. They've got the Lego movies. But here's the thing: is that this movie proves that if you give people a chance to direct their movie, which is something that, Disney and Star Wars did not do, if you give somebody a chance to do something their way, you can find something that is absolutely magical. That's what I'm pissed about. There's a silver
lining to that part. They may not got Solo, but they were able to create not one, but maybe the 2 best Spider-Man movies that you'll ever see, man. Across the universe.
That's true.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Right, that's true.
So there's a silver lining.
There is a silver lining, but man,
this is beautiful. And to bounce off what Brandon just said, if you ever doubt real artists will produce real art, everybody needs to go see Empire of Dreams, which is a documentary about the making of Star Wars. Oh yeah. And you watch a young George Lucas from literally nothing create the greatest space movie still greatest space movie. Yeah. Greatest space movie of all time. Mm-hmm. You got to watch it because it's people who are literally on fire for what they're doing. And that's why I feel like these two directors are Chris and Phil.
Absolutely.
Ed, what didn't you like?
Just the other two astronauts were talking about. No, the other two astronauts, they want to go by lethal injection and heroin, right? And it seemed like they could go anytime they want. After they complete their mission, they could go out anytime. I don't know how they actually died, and it felt like they didn't leave any breadcrumbs for fucking Ryan Gosling to wake up from it. Like, all right, what this is your mission, and like, did they die because they did lethal injection? They didn't want to wait for Ryan to come wake up. What was the reason?
I think that it was a malfunction.
Why didn't they give him any type of hey, this is your next path? Yeah. Well, how do you know that? I don't like those alders.
But I don't think they killed him that way.
No.
Well, they talked about they want to go out that way.
Right, but that was after they completed the mission.
They completed their mission. Ryan needs to complete his mission.
Wait,
that's splitting hairs, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot in the book that explains more about that situation than you got in the movie. And Hannah, she's asleep right now, but she can really break it down.
Go get her
but
up
there's
right
a certain type of gene. I can't get her up right now. There's a certain type of gene that Ryan's character has in regard to the coma of what he's able to do and then stuff like that. And so I think that had to do something with that. He was always the number one choice to go up there, but he had that special gene for him to actually complete that mission. Yeah, so I don't think
did the other two astronauts die of just old age, or did they die of hunger?
They died of a malfunction. They died like it's kind of like Alien. There's a bunch of movies that do this where you all go out and then you find out that something happened to the pod, and the pod their pods failed, his pods succeeded, or like Jeremy said, it wasn't explained in the movie, but apparently in the book, where he had a particular gene that allowed him to survive the coma that they were putting him in,
like the extended hypersleep.
Yeah,
like the
exactly. There was something that he had it. Yeah.
It's so cool. It would have been so easy to add something in there for him to read.
Jeremiah and Sean, there it goes, buddy. We all know what's going to happen now.
I know.
There it goes.
I know.
It was so easy.
All right.
It was
follow your
frustrating
heart,
question.
Sage. That's all I can say.
to answer the question on the table, what didn't I like about the movie? That it was just not longer, and I didn't see more Rocky. That's my big problem.
Sean love Rocky.
Yeah,
Sean love Rocky. Sean love Rocky big time. Yes.
And that brings us to the end of our review. Eddie, please take us through our scale so each of the hosts can give this a movie rating.
Will. I'm a star eater, and I'm going to destroy every fucking hope for this movie. 0, the perfect film.
All right, let's go ahead and
1,
show our scores. What?
Cocktail.
Nope. Okay.
2, a happy buzz. 3, you're in the Uber lifting home. 4, rough Mario walk of shame. 5, blackout, shit face, spring break drunk.
Don't cry. It's a sign of the times. 3, 2.
That's perfect.
1.
Not see that coming
No,
either.
since Eddie,
wow.
you.
My Halloween costume this year for my kids is going to be Rocky and Ryan Gosling walking around. Jacob's going to be Rocky.
You just want to wear that cardigan.
Jacob's going to be Rocky.
You just want to wear that fucking cardigan.
Jacob's going to be Rocky. No, and Noah's going to be walking around with a cardigan and see if anyone gets it. So this movie, as much as I didn't like that one little part of the other astronauts dying and not knowing why, this was a phenomenal movie, and I will watch this 1,000 times over and over again. And I just think if this movie doesn't win Best Picture, then I'm never watching any of the Academy Awards ever again. If this doesn't win
Let them
Best
burn.
Picture or Best, let them burn. This is what a Best Picture or Best Actors should be, even Best Supporting Actor. Everything about this movie, from the music itself, the quietness of it, the
soundtrack,
the leading up to the leading up to every scene that you know what's going to happen. It's just, it had me on the edge of my seat. I laughed, I cried. I was very happy. I watched this in theaters, and I recommend everyone should watch it. I give this a 0.
Yeah.
I don't do that often, so I really enjoyed this movie.
So up until this point, I've only said that there is one on spaceship movie that I think is perfect. And, on spaceship is not a Star Wars. It is, literally where you're confined to a spaceship. And I think of Sunshine. I think of 2001: A Space Odyssey. I think of the one with Chris, Alien, right? Of all those, and I mentioned this one earlier, Moon to me is a perfect movie. I think that Moon is absolutely amazing with Sam Rockwell.
It's a good movie.
And now there's 2, because this was such a movie that it was about confined spaces, but never once did it feel like we were confined. It felt like they had the entire world at their fingertips, because it was about this idea of finding something new, of finding friendship, of relationships, of. And I have been fortunate as a movie viewer to watch over the last year 3 movies that I feel are genuinely perfect, right? And I know that this is probably not something I want to admit on the podcast, but sometimes I give a 0 because it's a movie that I just genuinely love. But, I can find fault with a couple things, right? Oh, well, it's a perfect movie, but, right? There are 3 movies that I've seen in the last couple months that are genuinely perfect, what perfect means, in that there is nothing wrong with this, that it is an absolutely perfect movie. Hamnet, I think, is an absolutely perfect movie. I don't think that there's anything that we can say that is not. Train Dreams, both of them were nominated for Best Pictures. I think the Train Dreams is a perfect movie. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that movie. It is perfect. And now rounding it out is Project Hail Mary, a movie that is absolutely perfect in every way. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to end it. It is absolutely thumbs down. And if you know, you know. What I love even more, and this has nothing to do with ratings, but this has everything to do with my enjoyment of a movie, is when a movie completely subverts and surprises what you're expecting, right? It subverts your expectations. It surprises you. I went into this one thinking, God, it's a 3-hour slog. I don't like sci-fi. I don't want action. I don't want to really be here, but I'm here for Jeremiah and for Sean and for Eddie and for all the listeners who want to hear me be cynical and negative about something. And I can't be, because this was an absolutely beautiful experience. And Jer, I know you said it, Sean, you said it, Ed, you thought it. Please, please, please go see this movie in theaters, and don't just see this movie in theaters. This is an example of the power of cinema and how cinema can transcend world shit, and it can transcend personal shit, and it can take you to a different place, and it can make you feel. And for that, I can only say thank you for this experience to the film gods. So it's a 0. It is a true 0, and I feel very, very fortunate to have seen this movie. Jer, what you got?
There you go. Before going to this movie, I was kind of like hesitant because I kept getting messages from Sean, Eddie, and Brandon with their thumbs down. I'm like, holy fuck, what is this cryptic message? Did they like it or not like it? I didn't fucking understand. I was really getting pissed off. Like, God, fucking just throw your fucking shit out. What the fuck is this all about? And then watching the movie, I got it.
Sean just gave a thumbs down, and I was like, "Thank God, Sean agrees with me."
Thumbs down. I'm like, "What is Sean and Brandon talking about?" Of course, they're talking with each other. Thumbs down. What is this cryptic shit? Fuck. But this movie is a gift in a lot of ways, man. It's like I came in this movie, I laughed, I cried, I screamed, I leaped, I felt joy, I felt sorrow. I fucking got to experience this fucking one of a kind movie that I think it's going to change the way how we see cinema. And I got to experience this with the love of my life. All those things, the planets, the stars lined up. And I just had a heck of a fucking day. It was one of those experiences where I went out of the theater. And I just like, thank God that I got a chance to see something like this in my lifetime. Yeah. It's a fucking perfect movie. Like, I know it's like, it's all hyped up and everything like that. I kid you not. There's nothing wrong with this fucking movie. There's not one thing. It is a perfect movie in a lot of ways. It is a perfect movie. See it in the theaters. See it in one of these crazy wave formats that you can see it. But experience it. Experience it with your people and your friends. This is the reason why you go to the movies. Simple as that.
Yeah.
0 movie. Perfect movie. Sean.
Well said.
Please.
Well, you know, also the first person that did the thumbs down was Brandon.
It was
that asshole.
I know, and I didn't want to.
I know,
but I was so excited about this movie that I couldn't contain it, and I thought, what better way than to piss them off and to make them think that I don't like it, and then when they were going to watch it, they're going to be like, "Oh shit, Brandon really liked it."
Because of that,
he likes to spoil.
Sean and I almost didn't watch this movie. We were about to go have like cocktails the whole night, and we almost feel like, "Fuck this movie." Gave a thumbs down. We don't want to watch this.
Movies like when you like see a movie, like, "Well, I can't wait to tell you what I think." Oh, you do that.
He likes to hold information hostage.
That sounds like
100%. It gives me joy. My life sucks.
So I believe that the world is suffering right now from a lack of community experience, that everybody is living on their own little island, not experiencing what the rest of the world is experiencing. And I think I blame COVID, and I blame politics, and I blame a lot of things. I think the world is more separate now than it ever has been in our lives. And I look back at the time of our childhood, and it was about collective experience, about going to the movies and seeing a film that everybody was talking about, that everybody could enjoy, that it didn't play to one audience or the other. It was just a movie, and you went and you saw it, and then you talked about it, and it changed your life. And I don't mean to say that this movie is as good as something like Castaway. It will be a future people to say that, and in the Academy Awards and all that to say that. But I do think that this movie is one of those films that permeates the collective consciousness of society and allows us to talk again and to come together again and to be a community again of people who don't just have one thought or the other or fight, that we can actually agree on something. And I think that's the most powerful aspect of the movie, is that it is a unifier, not a divider. And if we spent more time in Hollywood and online and got out of social media and touched grass and felt the world and spent more time with movies like this, the world would be a better place. And for that, it is a 0. It is a perfect film because it does exactly what film is supposed to do: unify the world and not separate it. So when you take those 4 scores and divide by 4, what does Project Hail Mary get an average rating of?
As they say in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Which, by the way, was another unifying, beautiful, great
movie. It was.
Project Hail Mary gives us a 0.0,
actually.
It gives us a
0.0, yeah.
The first 0 of season 7 with our movies.
Yeah.
Eddie, what number is this on the list?
I'm gonna
I'm
guess.
letting Eddie go first, so we can go
Because
guess around
of
him.
alphabetical, I want to guess 4.
Oh shit, he's doing alphabetical now. I'm gonna go 5
Yeah, that's good.
We're supposed to.
because we had Oppenheimer.
I'll go 6, just because.
Eddie was right. It's number 4.
Oh,
We
Jesus
could do like in
Christ.
alphabetical order instead.
Wait. What were our perfects?
That
Because
doesn't count.
was Oppenheimer a 0?
Yes, it fucking does.
Or did Eddie fuck
that
it
means
up?
I remembered all the other movies.
Did Eddie fuck Oppenheimer?
Eddie, yeah, that messed up.
wasn't
That's
it
actually
perfect?
number 3 in our list, by the way. No.
Eddie.
That's a 0.0825.
That
It's
is a
very
0.
close to
What
a
is-
0.
Oppenheimer.
This is better than Oppenheimer.
I'm not saying
This
it. I mean, we're not
Oppenheimer
comparing.
is-
We're talking
what
about.
are our other
Oh.
zeros?
So it's now officially we have 5 movies for 3.5 Gentlemen that are perfect movies for our podcast. 5 movies. It's
I
Back
like
to the
that.
Future. It's E.T., Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Saving Private Ryan, Project Hail Mary.
What about Empire Strikes Back?
I mean,
That's
those
fine.
You're welcome. Guys.
Empire Strikes Back and
Empire
Oppenheimer.
Strikes Back
Fuck
is
up
number.
Empire Strikes Back.
It's number 2.
Oh, that's right.
We have a
That's
selective list, Rocky.
0.06. So we
no
That's
pride
have
on
Eddie
it.
being cute.
5 movies. We have 5 movies that are perfect movies. It's in the top 5.
Yeah.
It's number 1. That's it right there.
What else do you want
There
from
you
me,
have it.
Rocky? I can't go
2 more
backwards.
perfect
Let's look
scores.
in the future.
That's what I want from you.
We should get.
If you guys,
I'm not
if
doing
you guys
it.
don't
I'm happy with
mind-
this 5.
All right. Thank you, listeners, for enjoying this film with us. We cannot express enough how much we appreciate everyone who tunes in week after week to listen to our podcast. We can't encourage you also enough to go to the movies. Go to the movies. See these films when you can in cinemas. It's a dying industry. Let's revive it. Let's get it back on its feet. There's nothing like being in the theater, especially for a movie like this. As we progress through the season, we're going to bring you some great films. We've got a great season 7 lined up. We're just getting into the meat of it here. Jeremiah put a lot of our greatness right in summer, which I think is the perfect spot for it. You know, we agonize over our list. So with over 200 episodes in the can, we got a couple of TV shows coming out. We might do the Harry Potter show this year. So just look out. And Wednesday. Wednesday's coming out, I think, this season.
Hot off the press. What?
Hot off the presses. I make an executive decision.
We didn't
Anyway,
talk
so
about
thank
that.
you so much for listening. We really appreciate you all. And we love you. And from us to you, cheers. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, everyone.
Cheers,
Cheers. Much love.
And boom.
Fist my bump. Remember that. Fist my bump.
Sounds dirty.